Is called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have roll call, please?
And also, I want to remind everyone just to pull their mics down. Chair Holloway,
Here.
Member Rivera,
Here.
Member Carney,
Here.
Member Grigsby,
Present.
Vice Chair Oquendo,
Here.
Member Wolfer. Here. And we have a new board member, Member Philip Lantry, but he did provide notice of his absence this evening, so he will have an excused absence for the record.
Thank you.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have approval of the minutes?
I'd like to move for approval.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries 5-0. There's 6 of us.
It's all right, we'll have the 5 voting members. Ms. Wolfer will not be voting today, is all. She'll be participating, but not
Oh,
voting.
Ms. Wolf, okay, good. Okay, the first item on our agenda is CRC case number CMA 21. First, we need to pull the last 2 items. They were pulled, and that would be CPA 21-00024/2022-07 and CMA 21-00012/2022-08. We have to pull those. They were
Yeah, just to clarify for Madam Chair, the items, agenda items G and H have been postponed, continued, I think maybe is the proper verbiage. Is that right? Continued? They'll be continued to a future
Yeah,
agenda.
they were pulled for this meeting.
Pulled for
yeah.
tonight, that's right,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
Okay, our first case on the agenda would be DRC case number CMA 21-00013/2022-01, a zoning map amendment.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm Tisha Manning, Associate Planner in Community Development, and the case that I'll be presenting tonight is a zoning map amendment for 1801 Delaware Avenue. This is approximately 0.92 acres, generally located south of 17th Street, north of Reese Court, and east on Delaware Avenue. The future land use is medium-density residential with the current zoning of planned unit development, and the proposed zoning is R3 multiple family dwelling. This is compatible with the surrounding area and poses no adverse impacts on city facilities. The intent does meet the strategic plan goal of growth management. On or about November 29th of 21, DRC and staff reviewed this case, and we do recommend approval. So likewise, it is requested that the Planning Commission recommends approval for ordinance number 2022-01 based upon the 16 findings of the Land Development Code. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the applicant please step forward?
Seeing that the applicant is not here tonight, staff is available for questions.
Do we have any questions? Do we have anybody in the audience who would like to speak for or against this application?
I did have a question.
Please step forward and state your name. And I believe you want a little card filled out.
There's anyone that wishes to speak will fill out a form.
You need me to fill it
and
out
submit
prior,
that.
or?
No, afterwards is fine, sir.
Okay, no
Thank you.
problem. My name is Michael Hoffman. I currently have a property at 1824 Delaware Avenue. I do apologize, this is my first time attending a meeting in this forum, so I might not be as educated standing up here.
Don't worry about it.
I was curious, because I was wanting to find out additional information regarding, I know it's supposed to be changed from R1 to an R3 zoning, as far as have the applicant submitted any plans as far as what they plan on building on that land, as far as the
That-
residential, or?
The plans actually are down the road, and you're going to be notified again and can come to those
Okay,
hearings.
so the board could approve the rezoning prior to the plans being submitted to the rezoning board and stuff like that?
Yeah, this is a matter that's simply being sought to change the zoning from the PUD to the R3. So the commission's going to review the land development code provisions with regard to that request. The specifics and whatnot are not going to be before the commission this evening. Commission's here to take your feedback. It's really not here to give you direction or to respond, but to take your feedback or any concerns you have. Staff is here to respond to any questions that you might have.
Understood. So that would, I would assume would come up at a further meeting or something like that down the road?
Yes.
It may or may not. It depends on what your concerns are. I'd speak to staff. If you have questions of staff tonight, you can. Tonight, this is simply a zoning request.
Okay.
So just changing from the application from a PUD to an R3.
Understood.
Big picture.
I think that was my question. So,
Very
Thank you
good.
for your time.
Thank you.
Be more than happy to.
So I guess my question would just be, again, from my ignorance.
Hold
oh,
on 1 second. If we don't have anybody else in the audience to speak up, then I'm going to close the audience portion. And so now, if you have any questions to the,
Yeah, it would just be, I don't think I really understand the difference between just the low-density residential to the medium-density. I guess low-density means one unit, but how many would be able to go on an R3?
Okay, so R3 is for multiple family dwellings, so the density of, for medium density to low density is, it's 4 to 10, I apologize. It stays the same.
Help me, I'm remedial too, so that gentleman doesn't have to be embarrassed. It stays the same, meaning it's,
As far as the density of what can be built.
oh. So I guess I don't understand, what is R1 to R3 meaning? What changes? Sorry, thank you.
Let me just see if it's on here. Okay, so it's actually going from a PUD to
Go ahead and- just
R3.
go ahead- I'm sorry, just go ahead and introduce yourself to the
Oh, sorry,
commission.
yes, my name is Melissa Dunklin. I am the Community Development Director. So these current zoning is planned unit development. It is not R1. So the land use is not changing in this instance. Right now, they have the medium-density residential land use, which allows 4 to 10 dwelling units per acre. What they're wanting to do is not go the planned unit development route because the parcel is not large enough to accommodate a PUD, so they're wanting to go straight zoning, and they're requesting the R3 zoning district, which does not change their entitlements.
does that answer your question?
I think.
Okay, good. Does anybody else have any questions? If we don't have any questions, do we have a motion on this?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the ordinance number ZMA 21-00013 2022-01 of the zoning map amendment based on the 16 findings within the land development code.
Do we have a second?
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Our next case would be DRC case number ANX 21-00008/2022-02. An annexation, voluntary annexation.
Good evening, Jesse Anderson, Senior Planner.
If it behooves the chair, could we actually have the next two concurrent cases also read into the record?
Yes, it's DRC case CPA 21-0020/2022-03. It's a future land use map amendment. And the following case would be CMA 21-00011, slash 2022-04, and it's a zoning map amendment.
Thank you very much. So before you, this first case is Tyson Reserve's voluntary annexation. It is for ordinance 2022-02, which is for approximately 42.45 acres of land located north of Casey Durham Road, east of North Tyson Road, and west of Chatsworth Circle. And as you can see on the map before you, the color that is more in beigeish is the city limits, and the parcel that's in question is surrounded by the white and black dotted line showing that it is contiguous. So as I just mentioned, it is contiguous, but it is also reasonably compact, which does fulfill the requirements of section 171.044 of the Florida state statutes. It is also adjacent to city limits by abutting the city limits on the eastern property boundary. Its existing county future land use is low-density residential, and its existing county zoning is agricultural development and conservation. It is consistent with the strategic plan goal to annex this property of growth management. And DRC and staff recommend approval of ordinance 2022-02, and it is requested that the Planning Commission also recommend approval of ordinance 2022-02 according to the 16 findings based on the Land Development Code. Moving on to the concurrent comprehensive plan amendment, we have again for 42.45 acres of land. This is a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, and as you can see in front of you, the map depicts the future land use of the parcel in question, as well as the surrounding parcels. Currently, the future land use is low-density residential in the county, which allows for 3 to 8 dwelling units per acre. The proposed future land use would be low-density residential in the city, which allows for 1 to 4 dwelling units per acre. The development is compatible with the surrounding area, and there are no adverse impacts to city facilities. It is consistent, once again, with the growth management strategic plan goal. And on 10/7/2021, DRC and staff recommended approval of this ordinance, and likewise, it is requested by the Planning Commission that they recommend approval of this ordinance 2022-03 according to the 16 findings of the Land Development Code. And finally, we have the concurrent zoning map amendment, which again is for 42.45 acres of land, and this is for ordinance 2022-04. As you can see before you is the zoning designation for the property in question, as well as the surrounding parcels. Once again, the proposed future land use is low-density residential in the city. The current county zoning is agricultural development and conservation, and the proposed zoning is R1B single-family dwelling, which is compatible with the low-density residential future land use that we just spoke about in the prior case. It is compatible with the surrounding area in terms of its future land use and surrounding development, and it has no adverse impacts on city facilities. It's consistent with the strategic plan goal of growth management, and I apologize for the extra spacing on this slide, but DRC and staff did recommend approval of this ordinance, and it is requested that the Planning Commission also recommends approval of this ordinance 2022-04 according to the 16 findings of the Land Development Code. The applicant is here to answer any questions, and so is staff.
Thank you. Would the applicant please step forward?
Good evening.
Say
My name is John Adams with R.J. Whidden and Associates. We are the land planners for the project, representing the applicant, and I'm here to answer any questions on all three of the applications independently at your choice. We are in agreement with staff's recommendation, and I would like to reserve any right to address any public comments should they arise.
Very good, thank you. Do we have any questions? No questions? Well,
I guess a question, what are you building?
I'm not building anything. I'm not a builder, I'm a planner, but
The folks that you're,
it's single-family residential. The zoning we're requesting is your single-family residential district, 7,500 square feet, Lot size, yeah, I think 1,000 square foot minimum building pad. Yeah. I have to make sure I don't speak any heresy up here, so that's why I'm checking with staff, so.
Very
But
good.
it'll be, all be single-family detached product.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? If not, do we have, thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this request? No, so we are closing the audience portion. Do we have any questions to staff or anything? Nothing? If not, then do we have a motion? But please keep them separate.
I think the best thing to do would be to take, Madam Chair, just announce the case and then call for the motion for each case.
I will, okay. First one would be ANX 21-00008/2022-02. That would be the voluntary annexation. And do we have a motion on that?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of ordinance ANX 21-00008-2022-2 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Thank you. Do we have
I
a
second.
second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next one is CPA 21-00020/2022-03, the future land use map amendment. Do we have a motion?
I'd make the motion to recommend approval of ordinance CPA 21-00020/2022-3 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Anyone opposed? First, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. CMA 21-00011/2022-04 zoning map amendment. Do we have a motion?
I would make the motion to recommend approval of ordinance ZMA 21-00011/2022-4 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Our next case. You too, thank you. Happy New Year. Next case would be CPA 21-00019/2021-05. And it's a future land use map amendment, small scale.
And can we have the next application read into the record as well, the concurrent zoning map?
Yes, CMA 21-00010/2022-08, a zoning map amendment.
All right, Jesse Anderson, Senior Planner for Community Development. Before you, we have the Hickory Tree Industrial Lot 1 Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is for approximately 2.61 acres of land, so this is a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment. It is generally located south of US Highway 192 and west of Hickory Tree Road. Before you, you do have the future land use map. I do want to make one caveat for this. The red portion that is in between Hickory Tree Road and Earlo Bronson, so at that intersection, all of that red actually has transitioned into an industrial use recently. That is the OUC property. So it has an industrial use, even though it is so it's an industrial PUD there. It has a future land use of public institutional, but just to give you a little more insight to this industrial corridor, currently that is going to be an industrial use for here on out. They are
It has
developing
been
it.
a concrete plant for a long time.
I'm not sure about that exact location for the concrete plant, but there are concrete plants in that area, yes. But I just want to make that note, just because the map hasn't reflected that. We are currently in our process of updating our future land use and zoning maps. So for the background, the future land use of the property in question is commercial. The proposed future land use is industrial. The industrial future land use that is proposed is compatible with the surrounding area, and there are no adverse impacts on city facilities. So with this transition from highway business to industrial, as we have proposed in front of us, we are increasing the floor area ratio from 0.75 in the highway business district to 1.0 in the industrial future land use. So with that, we are increasing the intensity of the area, and that's just something to keep in mind when we're talking about this type of change. But for the overall impact to the area, we actually do find it consistent with what our comprehensive plan actually foresaw for the region. As you can see before you, for the future land use element, C.2.C, future land use needs, analysis of vacant land, it was hypothesized that the additional industrial land was going to be anticipated on the south side of 13th Street on the east side of the city, which is what this location is in question, and it is one of our only industrial corridors in the city. It is consistent with the strategic plan goals of growth management and economic development. And on or before September 9th, 2021, DRC and staff recommended approval of this ordinance. And likewise, it is requested that the Planning Commission recommend approval of ordinance number 2022-05 in concert with the 16 findings of the Land Development Code. Moving on to the concurrent zoning map amendment, we have Hickory Tree Industrial Lot 1, again for approximately 2.61 acres of land. And before you have the zoning of the parcel in question as well as the zoning of the surrounding parcels. So currently the zoning is highway business. Its proposed zoning is I2 Industrial 2. So the Industrial 2 is compatible with the proposed future land use of industrial, and it is compatible with the surrounding area with no adverse impacts foresaw on city facilities. As such, we foresee it being compatible with the growth management and economic development strategic plan goals, and DRC and staff on or before September 9th, 2021 recommended approval of this ordinance, and as such, it is requested that the Planning Commission also recommend approval of ordinance 2022-06 according to the 16 findings of the Land Development Code.
Okay, thank you very much.
And staff is available for any questions.
Do we have anybody in the audience? No, first of all, do we have the applicant here? No. Okay. Okay, do we have any questions for staff? Anybody have any questions?
I do for a minute, though. On the slide, you said ordinance number 2022-05, and on our paperwork, it says 2021-05.
The paperwork before you, that's not for the future land use. The future land use should be 05.
Okay.
The future land use is 05, and the zoning map amendment is 06.
Yeah, but it says 2021, not 2022.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that catch. I will make sure that is updated. I appreciate that,
Okay.
sir. Thank you. Besides that, are there any other questions that I can address?
No. There's obviously nobody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this request.
What kind of commercial usage is it going to be?
Well, it's going to go industrial instead, so that'll be consistent with the rest of the corridor of the industrial nature. Currently, there is a concrete plant that is on that property. And right now, if I am not mistaken, they are under a code enforcement situation because they are not in compliant with the code, since currently the future land use does not allow for a zoning district that allows for that type of use. So we are trying to rectify that situation.
But they've been there for decades.
Years.
Correct. They've been there for a very long time. There was actually some confusion for a while on what the zoning designation was for that property in question, because it did come in originally with the other industrial parcels that surround it, and it was eventually labeled as highway business, but there was a little bit of confusion on a couple different sets of maps, which led to some confusion on whether the use was permitted or not.
Yeah, all
But the
those
deep
years.
dive did
Yeah.
learn that it was
So
highway
they didn't
business.
get grandfathered in?
They didn't get grandfathered in because they technically came in after they had changed the district. So that was the problem. But there was just a mix-up on maps and other documentation that led to believe that it was either I-2 or highway business. So we're trying to clarify that now by giving it appropriate designation.
Yeah, I think they've been there for like 40 years or more. And I always thought it was industrial zoning right there because of them being there.
Yeah, so the industrial nature is definitely something that staff does support, and so we do think that it would be beneficial to agglomerate that type of economy in that area where we do have like industries with different industrial, specifically concrete mixing plants. So therefore, that the applicant has requested an approval of this zoning map and comprehensive plan amendment.
Yeah, it's a good location for it, yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Well, if we don't have any more questions, do we have a motion?
Did we call for,
And we're gonna separate them
did we call
again.
for public comment? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay.
We
Yeah.
did, there's nobody here.
Okay. Making sure, still gotta ask.
Oh, yeah, oh, I forgot to close for the public comment, so that I didn't do.
Okay.
Okay. CPA 21-000 19/2021-05,
2022-05.
2022-05. Okay, yeah, 2022-05. Future land use map amendment. Do we have a motion on that?
I'd like to make a motion for recommendation of ordinance number CPA 21-00019/2022-05 to transmit to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity for integrity reviewed based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Do we have a second?
Before we do second, this is a small scale, so we do not
Small
need to
scale.
transmit.
You don't have to
Okay.
transmit.
This
Thank you.
motion is to approve?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
second.
it.
Second, all
I'll
in
second it.
favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. CMA 21-00010/2022-06 zoning map amendment. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval for ordinance ZMA 21-00010/2022-6 based on the 16 findings within the Land Development Code.
Do we have a second?
I'll pass. Go for it. I'll
Okay.
pass it.
Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. This,
The next two are out.
the next two are out, so this takes care for this meeting.
Yeah, and then the next meeting will be January 18th, next year, 2022, at 6 PM in the same location.
Same location.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
So,
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Anybody make a
Safe and
motion to
happy.
adjourn the meeting?
So
Make a
moved.
motion to adjourn the meeting?
Very good. All in favor, I would say.
Aye.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, Happy New
Absolutely, and to
Year.
you all.
The best to everybody.